भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Children will chant the first and the last dhyana shloka along with me. You also chant, but you keep your mics muted. Okay? Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Amba Tvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad-gīte Bhavadveshiniim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaisthavaihi Vedai Sāṅga-pada-kramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidussura suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. We will talk about the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now this 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called as GunaTraya Vibhaga Yoga. GunaTraya Vibhaga Yoga. That means here Bhagavan Krishna is going to talk about the three gunas. Okay, what is the guna? Guna means a property. Okay, a guna is what? A guna is a property of something. For example, if you say a white rose, white is the property of that rose. Okay, shining metal. Okay, the shining or the shine is the attribute of the metal. Similarly, it is called as guna. Guna means what? When you use a particular attribute to describe something, it is called as the guna. Okay, bright boys. Okay, our boys here are bright boys, intelligent boys. So what is bright and intelligent? That is something to describe you, bright children, correct? So these bright boys and intelligent boys, it becomes a guna of all your boys, correct? So, GunaTraya Vibhaga means here, Bhagavan Krishna is going to talk about what? The three gunas with which the entire Jagat is made. Now we have to understand what is the meaning and what is the meaning of this guna. Now supposing we are all the products of our parents, correct? We are born out of parents, correct? We are the products of our parents. So what happens? We get the gunas of our parents. Characteristics. Gunas means characteristics. One of you may look like your mother. Like Lucky may look like his mother and Raki may look like his father. Correct? Huh? It is possible. So what is that? That guna you have taken because you are the product of your parents. So what Bhagavan says is, whenever there is a product of something, the gunas of the cause come into the product also. Correct? Huh? So, what he says is, supposing a gold bar is converted into ornaments. What will happen? The ornaments will also have the same guna as that of gold. Correct? Like gold is malleable. This one also becomes malleable. Now, gold, pure gold, 24 karat gold is what? Extremely flexible. It will change its shape. So what do? You put some copper into that gold and make it little stronger and harder. Supposing you make an ornament out of that gold. What is the content of the copper in the ornament? The same as the content of the copper in the coarse gold. Correct? Isn't it? Do you agree with me? Correct? So what is a guna? A guna is a property. In physics, in science, you learn, isn't it? What is the property of a gas? What is the property of a liquid? Properties of water. Correct? So what are the properties of water? The same properties will come whatever is the product of water. Correct? Whatever is another element. that particular element, if it is converted into some product, that will have the same properties. So what Bhagwan says is that when the whole world is the product of Maya or Prakriti, apara Prakriti, correct? The whole world, Bhagwan said what in the 7th chapter? That there are two Prakritis, apara Prakriti and para Prakriti. You answered that test the other day, correct? Apara Prakriti and para Prakriti. The whole world is made up of apara Prakriti. Therefore, the world is the product. Apara Prakriti is the cause. This body is the product. Apara Prakriti is the cause. Therefore, whatever are the properties, whatever are the attributes of the cause, apara Prakriti, will be present in the effect also. Are you understanding, children, what I am trying to say? You are understanding what I am saying? Whatever is the property of the cause will come to the product also. Correct? If you make a sweet out of sugar, if you make some eatable with sugar, the sweetness is the property of sugar, correct? So whatever you prepare from sugar, that will have the same quality of sweetness of the sugar. Similarly, what Bhagwan says here is, look, the whole world and you, the body, the mind and the body, that is what? Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira of all the jivas come out of what? Apara Prakriti. We saw in the 7th chapter what? I am the maker and the material, Bhagwan said, correct? My apara Prakriti is the material cause of all the things in the universe, including your body and mind. Therefore, whatever are the characteristics or gunas or properties of apara Prakriti will be there in all of us. In all of us means what? In our body and minds. Have you imagined? Have you seen children? See, Nihar, have you observed this, that we may be millions and millions, billions of human beings, but then, okay, all of us, if you do the chemical analysis of this body, supposing you want to see how much is the glucose content in the blood, all of us will have the same thing, correct? Our bones will have the same content of calcium. If you measure hormonal levels, they'll be in micrograms, milligrams, picograms. 2 billion people in the world will have the same attribute. They'll have the same property. So what is the meaning of this? Because we are all the products of apara Prakriti. And what is apara Prakriti? The material cause of this whole world. And this whole world includes what? Our bodies and minds also. So the property of the cause is there as a property in the effect also. And what is the name of the property that is given here in Sanskrit? What is the name given to a property? It is called as a guna. Guna. Okay. What is the guna of water? It is liquid. Liquidity is the guna of water. Okay. Now, what is the guna of wood? Solidity is the guna of wood. Correct? What is the guna of air? Okay. It is gas. Oxygen, hydrogen, whatever you take, it is gas. It's the property. It's the property of the gas. Correct? Similarly, what Bhagwan says is, apara Prakriti, therefore, is a mixture of 3 gunas, 3 qualities, and therefore, the whole world being a product of apara Prakriti, all the jivas, all the living beings whose bodies and minds are the properties of apara Prakriti, the products of apara Prakriti, all of us will have what? 3 gunas. So, Trigunamayi apara Prakriti is called. That means this material cause of the whole universe, called as apara Prakriti by Bhagwan, basically has 3 properties. They are called as the 3 gunas. And what are these gunas? Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Have you heard these terms before, children? You have heard, no? Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. These are the three important gunas. Now, can I give you an example of what this means? See, when you are sitting in your classroom and listening to your teachers, your mind is calm, quiet. It is absorbing all the knowledge given by your teacher. At that time, a quiet, a contemplative, and absorbing mind is called as sattva. That mind has the guna of sattva at that time. Sattva guna. Okay? You're playing in the evening at 4 o'clock, your sports hour starts and you're running and kicking the ball and playing matches and everything. That time, what is your guna? You are a rajo guna pradhana. Activity. Rajo guna means what? Activity. Sattva guna means what? Quiet, silent, receptive mind and body. That is called as sattva guna. Rajo guna means what? Activity. Your mind and your body are fully active. They are actively doing something. That is called as rajo guna. Then remember, in the night, when your body and mind are tired, you don't feel like moving. You want to simply sleep. Close your eyes and sleep. That, kind of a feeling of not wanting to do anything, and there is an inertia in the body and mind. You have heard of this term, inertia? In physics, you have this term, inertia. You have not heard still? It has not come in your physics classes. Inertia means you feel dull, very dull. You don't want to study, you don't want to do anything. You simply want to sit quietly or you want to sleep. That is called as tamoguna. And what Bhagavan says here is, all of us are a mixture of all the three gunas. We cannot have one single guna. All of us have all the three gunas because apara prakriti, the material cause of the whole world, has all the three gunas. We also have all the three gunas. What are these three gunas? Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. And these gunas are in different proportions at different times of the day. Are you understanding, children, what I am saying? At different times, the different gunas are in different proportions. What is the meaning of that? In the morning time, when you get up in the morning and when you are actively, your mind is active, you are more of sattva guna is more, rajo guna is little less, tamo guna is not much because you have already had enough of sleep and you have got up. Correct? And then you go to the school, start doing things in the school. Slowly the rajo guna becomes more. And by evening, when you start playing your games and all, your rajo guna becomes more than sattva guna and tamo guna. And in the night, when you're tired and your body and mind want to sleep, that time the tamo guna is more predominant than sattva guna and rajo guna. That is why when you're sleepy, you can't learn anything. Can you? When you're sleepy, can you study anything? Nothing will go into your head. Why? Because there is no sattva guna. The mind is full of tamo guna at that time. So when you are, sleepy, you can't understand anything. And when you are in a mood to play, your mind and body are full of rajo guna. That time also nothing goes into your mind. You can't study anything. So what Bhagavan says is that the whole world, all of us are products of apara prakriti, which is the material with which this whole world is made. Therefore, all of us have got these three gunas. And then in this chapter, what does Bhagavan say? He names the three gunas. What are the three gunas? And he says, what is the important manifestation of all the three gunas? Okay. Now, he comes to we'll go to the fifth verse, fifth shloka. You have the book in front of you, no? You all have this Bhagavad Gita where shlokas are there, isn't it? Or you don't have? How come? You have been given the notes, no? Bhagavad Gita. None of you have the main verses in front of you. You don't have, like, if I say fifth shloka, is it you? None of you can see what the shloka is it? You don't have the book in front of you or whatever Anna sent you. Don't have? Okay. Anyway, so now we'll go to the fifth shloka. Now, Bhagavan says, Sattvam Rajastama iti guna prakriti-sambhavāḥ nibadhnanti mahā-bāho dehe dehinam avyayam. So hey Arjuna, this body of every jiva has all the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. What about this atma then, which is the dehi, which is inside this body, which is that which is manifesting behind this body, mind? We called it dehi, we called it atma. Do you remember, children, what all has been taught all this time? You remember what is deha and dehi? You remember what is body, what is atma, correct? So what here Bhagavan is talking about is that all the three gunas belong to the body and mind. But this dehi or atma is not affected by any of the gunas. There are no gunas for the atma. Atma is gunatita. That's what this whole chapter is about. What Bhagavan wants to say is all the three gunas are for the body and mind. All the three gunas are seen in the world. But the atma, I, or para-prakriti of Bhagavan are not affected by the three gunas. They are gunatita. Therefore, the body is saguna. The world is saguna. Atma is nirguna. That is the whole purpose of this chapter. So in the 5th shloka, Bhagavan said that all the sattva, rajas, tama gunas are born out of prakriti. Prakriti-sambhavāḥ means what? They're all born out of prakriti. And what happens? These qualities will affect or bind only the body, mind. They don't affect the atma within. Then, what is the characteristic of sattva? In the body, in the mind, when sattva guna is very, very prominent, how does a person manifest? That's what he says now in the 6th shloka. So now in the 6th shloka, Bhagavan says, tatra sattvaṁ nirmalatvāt prakāśhakam anāmayam sukha-saṅgena badhnāti jñāna-saṅgena chānagha. So what is the effect of sattva guna on the human body and mind? What is the effect? He says, sattvaṁ nirmalatvam. Sattva guna is pure. Nirmala means what? Pure. That is, sattva is represented by white. Why does Devi Saraswati wear white clothes? Do you know? You know that Devi Saraswati is shown in the pictures wearing white clothes, white sari. You know that? Have you seen that? You have seen that, no? What is the reason? White represents sattva. Why are you given white uniform, children? Have you thought of it? You were asked when you sit for the Bhagavad Gita class at 7:30, all of you should wear white clothes. Were you told that or no? You were not told? Okay. All of you are wearing anyway. So, white clothes. Why do you go to the school with white uniform? Because white is sattva guna pradhana. White represents sattva. So, when you are sattva guna more, when there is more sattva guna in you, you are able to learn better. You are more sensitive to learning. So, here what he says is sattvam nirmala. Nirmala means what? It indicates the purity and the subtle mind. A mind which is pure enough to absorb what is being taught. Then prakāśhakam. It is capable of absorbing knowledge. It is capable of absorbing whatever is taught. Anāmayam. This, when you are in sattva guna, when sattva guna is more prominent, you are happy. You are at ease with yourself. It creates a good feeling in you. You are not disturbed. You are silent, quiet, relaxed, not stressed. So this is what is called as anāmayam. And sukham, happy. Sattva guna makes you feel happy. So early morning when you get up, why is it that you're feeling happy and relaxed? Because you start with the sattva guna. Okay, your tamo guna is over. And because before you become very active in the day, what are you manifesting? Sattva guna. Correct? You have all the three gunas. All of us have all the three gunas. But then Bhagavan says, Whenever at any time of the day, when we have more sattva guna in us, then we are happy and our minds are relaxed. We are capable of understanding and grasping what is being taught. And sattva guna represents what? Knowledge. Jñāna-saṅgena. It represents knowledge. That is why Devi Saraswati, who is the goddess of knowledge, is always shown in white clothes. Not okay. Anyway, now you know why you see the pictures of Devi Saraswati on calendars, in your books and all that. You will find that Devi Saraswati is called as what? She's called as Shvetambara. Okay, she's shown to be wearing a white sari. She's sitting on a white swan, Hamsa, on a white Hamsa, white swan she's sitting. What is the indication of all this? It means there is jnanam, knowledge. She's the goddess of knowledge. Sattva guna is predominant there. So this is the result of sattva guna in whenever it is more. Remember, all the three gunas are there in us. There can't be only one guna. At some time, at one part of the day, one of the gunas will be more predominant. And at that time, what happens to us? That is being expressed by Lord Krishna. Then, in the next verse, in the 7th verse, Bhagavan says, rajo rāgātmakaṁ viddhi tṛiṣhṇā-saṅga-samudbhavam nibadhnanti kaunteya karma-saṅgena dehinam. So what Bhagavan is saying here is, what is the manifestation of rajo guna? So rajo rāgātmakaṁ means when you are rajo guna pradhana, what happens? Pradhana means when you are having lot of rajo guna is predominant in you during the daytime. During the daytime, when you have to do your work, when you have to play, when you have to do so many other things, where your body is active, your mind is active. At that time, what does it do? Rajo rāgātmakaṁ. That time, what is there? You have a desire to do this, to do that. I must do this, I must do that, I must go here, I must go there, I must take this. This kind of a desire is there. Therefore, rajo guna manifests with desiring for something. And then, what does it say? You try to get attached to something to get something. So he says, tṛiṣhṇā-saṅga-samudbhavam. And what does this rajo guna do? Rajo guna propels you into action. You can act only when you have rajo guna. Otherwise, you don't feel like doing anything. Supposing you are asked to run when you are sleepy. Can you run? You can't run because you are in that time, tamo guna is more predominant. Okay. But then around say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when your school is over, then you are ready to go to the sports field and start jumping around. That is what? That is rajo guna. It propels you into activity. What does sattva guna do? Previous verse, what did we say? It makes you very relaxed, very happy, very receptive. You are quiet, your mind and body are quiet, and you are capable of receiving and understanding whatever is taught. That is the right time to learn anything. That is why all the teaching is done in the morning. That is why you are asked to do japa early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Because that is the time when your mind is most sattva guna oriented, prominent. Okay? As the day progresses, what happens? You become more and more rajo guna predominant. Means what? More and more rajo guna appears in you. Sattva guna becomes less and less, less and less. Understood? So what happens here? You become active. You want to do some work. You try to go after some work, activity. So what is rajo guna? It is propelling you into acting. It propels you into activity. Then what is tamo guna? Next one he describes in the 8th verse. Tamastvajñāna-jaṁ viddhi mohanam sarva-dehinām pramādālasya-nidrābhis nibadhnāti bharata. Here, Arjuna, what is tamo guna? When the tamo guna is more than sattva guna and rajo guna, what happens? it gives rise to a state of no learning, ajñānam. No learning is possible. In sleep, is there any learning possible? Can you learn anything in sleep? No. Supposing you record your teacher's talk, your teacher's lesson, and then you put that on your cell phone and sleep. Do you think that whatever it is being talked there will enter your brain or head in sleep? No. So tamo guna is what? It is ajñānam. No knowledge can take place. No understanding can take place. No absorption of anything can take place. So it is ajñānam. Then tamo guna causes a lot of confusion. Mohanam means what? Confusion for all people. When you are having more of tamo guna, you cannot think clearly. Your mind is not able to think clearly. You are extremely confused. So, inability to learn, no grasping, no learning, okay, confusion and pramāda. Pramāda and alasya means what? Neglect. When you are sleepy, if you are asked to do something, what do you say? Ayo, nade nodkolna. We'll see tomorrow. Now I will sleep. I'll see tomorrow. So what do? You neglect whatever you have to do. It's okay. Let us see tomorrow. Alasya. Alasya, laziness. Alasya, there is laziness there. And so Bhagavan says that tamo guna binds you with non-learning. Okay? Incapacity to absorb anything and learn anything. Confusion. Okay? Postponing things, procrastinating. Pramada, neglect, not bothered. Alasya, laziness. So these are all the manifestations of tamoguna. And what he says is that all of us are the products of Prakriti. All of us have all the three gunas. Okay, so all the products of Apara Prakriti have all the three gunas. But then at certain times in a day, we have more of sattva guna compared to rajo guna, tamo guna. At some times of the day, there is more of rajo guna compared to the other two. At some other time of the day, like in the night time, there is more tamo guna compared to the other two. Therefore, why Krishna is telling us all this? Because we have to understand that which is the time where we have more of sattva guna, that is the best time for us to learn. That is why in your school, Swami has arranged that your teaching, learning goes on more between 8 a.m. and 12 noon or 1 p.m. Correct? After that, after 3 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, no teaching is going on. Correct? You are going to the ground and you are playing. And at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, lights are off in your hostels. You have to sleep. Correct? Why? That is the time when your tamo guna is manifesting itself. So, what he says is that depending upon what is your predominant guna at that time, you have to plan your activity and whatever you have to do. And what he says, what are the things, the other things that manifest out of these three gunas. Okay, so here he says that in the 11th shloka, he says, sarva-dvāreṣhu dehesmin prakāśha upajāyate jñānam yada tada vidyāt vivriddham sattvaṁ ityuta. So when you are more sattva guna oriented, when the tamo guna and rajo guna are less, and proportionately the sattva guna is more learning happens, more teaching happens. You look very bright. You are more receptive. You are more happy. And he says, what happens when the person is having rajo guna? What are the qualities that are brought out of rajo guna? Activity we thought. But here Krishna says that some negative qualities are also born out of rajo guna. What are they? In the next verse, in the 12th verse, he says, Lobha pravritirarambhaha karmanāmashamasprha rajasyetani jayante vividdhe bharatarshava. How do you recognize some of the features? some of the things that happen in your body, not only activity. There are other things we is talking about. Lobha, greed. Greed for something. What is greed? I want more. I want more. I want more. I want everything. This is lobha. That is born out of what? Rajoguna. Prakṛiti-sambhavāḥ. Activity to start something. That restlessness to start something. Then karma-naṁ ashamaha. Restless all the time. Can't sit in one place. Want to keep doing something. Get up and go somewhere. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to get this. I want to do that. So lobha, the greed, the need for activity, restlessness, these are the features of Rajoguna. So when you're sitting in the class and when you're feeling very restless, your mind is thinking of wanting this, wanting that, going here, going there, thinking of what is going to happen in the sports field in the evening. Nothing is entering into the head what the teacher is talking. You should understand that time now there is more Rajoguna in me. Sattva guna is not there. That's why no learning is happening. You understand? So these are the manifestations of Rajoguna. Then what does he say? Again he says in the 13th verse, aprakāśho pravritti-scha pramādo moha-eva cha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe kuru nandana. So what he's saying here is that you understand that you are having more of tamo guna when there is no interest in learning anything. You are not receptive to what is being taught. Nothing is entering your head. You are negligent. You're not writing down what the teacher is saying. You're not listening to what the teacher is saying. Negligent about it. Then confusion, moha, confusion. What did the teacher say? Did he say this? Did he say that? Did he explain that? You'll ask that question as if it was not taught at all. Teacher has taught whole class. But then at the end of the class, you'll ask the teacher, what is this? Okay, what did you teach? What is the meaning of this? The teacher would have taught everything, but you have not heard it. So, moha means confusion. And then you are neglecting, not able to understand. At that time, when you see all these things in you, you understand that you are having more of tamo guna in you. Okay, therefore, what is the reason why Bhagavan Krishna is talking to us about how to identify where we stand? We have to identify that we have all the three gunas in us. At this time, what is my basic predominant guna? Is sattva guna predominant, rajo guna predominant, or tamo guna predominant? Now, at this time, if you are able to sit quietly, if your mind is relaxed, if you are able to understand what I am saying, if you are concentrating on what is happening, then you are sattva guna pradhan. That means sattva guna predominant. Okay. Supposing you find that whatever Amma is telling, nothing is entering in your head, you are looking here and there and you are thinking of what to do after this, then all the time activity, you're just waiting for the class to get over and run away. Then you have to understand that there is more of Rajoguna in you. Okay. It means only we have to recognize where we are so that we can come out of it. That's it. Then supposing you're feeling sleepy now, you're not able to really keep your eyes open. Nothing is being understood. Feeling very drowsy. Then you have to understand that now I am dominated by tamo guna. Therefore, nothing is happening. I'm not understanding anything. So what is Krishna saying here? That all these things he's saying about the three gunas are for us to understand where is basically where am I? Am I generally more sattva guna oriented, a person who's always calm, quiet, not all the time in a hurry to reach somewhere? Such a person has more of sattva guna in him. A person who is constantly active and all the time trying to run here and there and very restless, such a person is more of rajoguna oriented person. And there are some people whom you have to shake. They will not get up. They are so lazy. Throughout the day, they are sitting in one place, lazy, not even willing to get up and do even small thing. Those people are basically having what? Tamo guna as their character. So what does Bhagavan say here? You see for yourself what is you basically where you are. If you are more of tamoguna in you, if you have more of tamas in you, then you have to do puja, you have to do worship to bring yourself up to the next level of rajoguna. If you are all the time active, you have to sit in meditation, sit quietly, and train yourself to become more of sattva guna predominant person. So the purpose of this particular chapter is to assess where we are and then to bring ourselves up to sattva guna predominant people. May us all try to be more of sattva guna, bring in more of sattva guna in us during all our activities. Throughout the day, let us be more of sattva guna predominant people. Let the rajo guna and tamo guna be secondary. Whereas throughout the day, let us be more sattva guna predominant. And what happens when you are sattva guna predominant? What Bhagavan is teaching you here in the form of Atma-jnana becomes easy to understand. Because what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is Atma-jnana, correct? What is Bhagavan Krishna trying to teach Arjuna? He is trying to teach Arjuna what is taught in the scriptures. What is taught in the scriptures? In the scriptures, what is taught is what is the nature of the individual. The individual is nothing but Atma. What is the nature of God? God is also nothing but para-prakriti. And ultimately, what is that para-prakriti? That is the Atma in every individual. Therefore, what Bhagavan is trying to teach is, really speaking, there is no difference between the individual jiva and God. I, the para-prakriti, manifest as the kshetrajna Atma in every being. I am the kshetrajna in every living being. What is kshetrajna? Para-prakriti Atma. The Atma of every living being is I, para-prakriti, I, Bhagavan. That is what Bhagavan said in yesterday's chapter, 13th chapter. And now what is Bhagavan saying? If you want to understand this teaching that I am giving you, you have to become more of sattva guna. You must have more of sattva guna. You have to develop more sattva guna. You must learn to put rajo guna and tamo guna in the background. Only then you can understand what I am trying to tell you. Okay? Ultimately, you have to understand, Arjuna, that I, the para-prakriti, and you, the Atma, are one and the same, and we are nirguna. What is saguna? Only the products of apara prakriti are saguna. What are the products of apara prakriti? The body and mind in the individual. The world that we see outside, the names and forms, all the other living beings, all the plants, all the animals, all the objects in the world, all of them are the products of apara prakriti. Therefore, it is only this body and mind and all the objects of the world, the bodies of the other individuals, the bodies of all the jivas have gunas because they are the properties of apara prakriti. Whereas the para prakriti I, Bhagavan says, and the Atma you are what? Gunatita. To understand that I am Gunatita, Bhagavan is Gunatita, I am the Gunatita Atma, I am not the Saguna body mind. To understand this, you have to manage your three gunas in your body. The Sattva guna, the Rajo guna, and the Tamo guna, the three gunas have to be understood by us. And what should be our effort here? To go up from Tamo guna to more of Rajo guna, I should become more rajoguna pradhana from tamoguna. Gradually, I should do all what Lord Krishna says in the form of karma yoga, upasana. Karma yoga is what? To convert me from tamoguna predominant individual to rajoguna predominant individual. Then what is japa, upasana and worship? Upasana, worship, japa will convert me from rajoguna predominant individual to sattva-guna predominant individual. Individual means person. Okay? And what will this knowledge do? This knowledge that Bhagavan is trying to give, kshetrajñam chapi mam viddhi sarva-kshetreshu bharata. What that knowledge will do? That knowledge will make me understand that I am not this body with all the three gunas, but I am that Atma without any gunas. What is Ishvara or Bhagavan? Bhagavan is not the body, the world with the three gunas, but Bhagavan is the very para-prakriti. What is para-prakriti? Atma itself. And where is that para-prakriti manifesting? As the Atma in every jiva. And then what is this para-prakriti? And Atma, kshetrajñam, it is gunatita. Gunatita means that does not have any gunas. It is free from all gunas. All the gunas are found only in the body, in the individual. The Atma is free from all gunas. This is the teaching of our scriptures. And to understand this, we all have to make ourselves more of sattva-guna predominant persons. Therefore, with karma yoga, our minds become more, they rise up from tamoguna. Our minds become less and less and less tamoguna when we do karma yoga. And then the mind becomes more of rajoguna. Then we have to do what is called as worship or upasana. With that worship and upasana, our mind becomes more and more and more receptive and sattva-guna mind. A mind which is more of sattva-guna predominant mind, a body which is more sattva-guna predominant body. So my whole individual, my whole personality, the body mind becomes more and more sattva-guna oriented. I will understand this knowledge Bhagavan is giving. This much we understand in the 14th chapter. That is more than enough. So what did we see in the 14th chapter? The name of the chapter is GunaTraya Vibhaga Yoga. What is discussed here is that there are three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. These are the properties of the material para-prakriti. And we, the body, mind of every jiva, the whole world is nothing but the product of a para-prakriti. Therefore, all of us, the products, have got the same properties of sattva, rajas, tamas. What should be our what should be our aim? That we should become more sattva predominant individuals. Why? To understand what Bhagavan is talking about, what Bhagavan is teaching here in Bhagavad Gita, what our scriptures are talking about. What is that knowledge? That knowledge is that I, this Atma, Kshetrajña, which is nothing but the para-prakriti of God, is without any gunas. Atma, me, the para-prakriti of Ishvara, which is also me, Kshetrajña, are not bound, not affected by any of the three gunas. So by talking about the gunas, Bhagavan is telling us we have to slowly make ourselves more and more sensitive to this knowledge. If I'm all the time sleepy and lazy and all the time I'm postponing everything, I cannot learn what is told here. If I'm all the time running around here and there, all the time active, all the time restless, then also this knowledge is not possible. Therefore, he's telling to learn any knowledge, children, not only Bhagavad Gita. If you want to learn properly what is taught in your class, you should be able to sit for 40 minutes without moving your body. You should be able to concentrate your mind on what is being taught, and that can happen as you slowly develop your mind with more and more and more sattva guna.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.